On today's show, spoiler alert, it looks like Superman will be in Justice League after all, and he'll be sporting a very slimming all black ensemble that really brings out the misery in his eyes. And it seems Frank Castle's therapist is going to have his work cut out for him a lot sooner than expected. All that on today's Not News. First up on the show, Superman himself, or rather Henry Cavill, the actor with precisely the right amount of range to play Superman, has teased an image on his Instagram revealing what looks to be the Man of Steel's all-black solar suit that he famously donned when recovering from his quote-unquote death in the comics. Spoiler alert again, I guess, this quote-unquote death was one of the 98 simultaneous plot lines that was ham-fistedly squeezed into Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Now, after the comic book arc Death of Superman, the last son of Krypton wears a special black suit that absorbs solar radiation in order to recharge his powers. This means that we could be getting a severely underpowered version of Superman in the upcoming Super Friends movie. Maybe in doing so this will make the character a little more relatable, but I can't help but think that by killing him so soon into their cinematic universe, DC and Warner Brothers have effectively robbed Supes of all dramatic emphasis and nuance. I mean, who cares anymore what happens if he ever goes up against Darkseid? The suspense is lost. He's already sacrificed his life for the greater good once, and then he came back. They spunked their load too soon, and now any conflict that befalls the character is going to feel contrived and put upon. It's a shame because while Man of Steel was far from perfect, it was also far from irredeemable. I was looking forward to its sequel in hopes that we'd get to see a Superman that, defined by the traumatic outcome of his encounter with Zod, would go on to truly embody the characteristics of truth, hope and justice. Instead, we got a hyper-violent clusterfuck in which the character got lost in and amongst all of the moving pieces and was literally only there to die and set up DC's next line of movies. We never got to really find out about Zod's death and how it affected him on a human level. We never got to see him rise above his reluctance and truly accept his place as a beacon of hope, as the Superman. Instead, he moped about for an hour and a half, entirely reactive to the things that were happening around him, and then he got himself quote unquote killed in a cheap and easy fashion. He is hoping that Snyder and Goya stay as far away from the character as possible in the future, and instead of getting the Superman they think that we need, we get the one that we actually deserve. The Justice League movie will be released on June 14th, 2019. In other news, it looks like Marvel and Netflix's Punisher standalone series is set to hit the streaming service a lot sooner than expected. That's right, according to a landing page that appeared on the Netflix mobile app, Jon Bernthal's portrayal of the no-nonsense vigilante will be hitting the small screen as early as 2017. This means that it will be out the same year as both Iron Fist and The Defenders, meaning that if it comes out between those two series, we could end up seeing Frank Castle's Travis Bickle take on Justice in the much anticipated team-up series. This is obviously great news, as I think we can all agree that beside maybe Kingpin's brief inclusion, Bernthal's Punisher was the outstanding element in the second season of Daredevil, and the actor's intensity and vulnerability added such a sense of complexity to the Punisher's actions that it almost became difficult not to root for what was essentially a mass murdering psychopath. While Marvel's Netflix shows may not be able to compete with their cinematic counterparts on a level of spectacle, when it comes to narrative and character development, they have proven to be second to none thus far, and because we get to spend a lot more time with these characters, we become all that more invested in their plights. So it will be interesting to see just what direction they take with the Punisher. However, with Steve Lightfoot, writer and producer of the critically acclaimed Hannibal, as the showrunner, I think we can all rest assured that the character is in good hands. The Punisher looks set for release on Netflix in 2017. And that's it for this episode of Not News. Thank you all so much for watching, and please make sure to hit that like button down below, as it really does help the channel to grow. You can also subscribe to the channel and keep up to date with all future content as and when it comes out each week. Thank you all so much for your time, and I'll see you again soon.